It's been 2 weeks since QUAN got off on RICO. Bucko and QUAN were just making a store run before business. They were going to try to get RICO's old plug on their side with RICO gone. That was Bucko's plan from the jump. He wanted it all. QUAN was just on point until something caught his eye. QUAN approached the girl, starting a conversation. All QUAN did was slide and smoke drugs. I guess he was trying new things. Girls in the hood can be cool, but even more of a problem. Especially if you're a known member. This type of behavior leads to backdoor. If QUAN wasn't on point, then Bucko was. If Bucko wasn't on point, then QUAN was. Bucko lost a lot of members due to RICO putting females on them. Even though the girl didn't look fishy, Bucko wasn't going. After a little conversation, QUAN had the number. Bucko told QUAN he needs to focus on tonight. It's big money involved, he said. RICO's not here to fuck this up. Tonight is where this shit begins. QUAN was starting to feel the thrill again. He didn't have a single thought about RICO anymore. He also knew his last day could be any moment with this fast lifestyle he's living. QUAN truly didn't care after a while. Bucko and QUAN just told these guys they got a business offer. Didn't really say much. They had a simple plan for getting in the drug industry. Beforehand, RICO was moving drugs for these guys. Bucko was now going to take his spot, or at least try. Bucko started off by saying sorry for the loss you boys took. RICO was a soldier. The white-masked man ignored it and told Bucko to talk business. Why should we let you in on this shit? Bucko replied, saying he's capable of making double the money RICO made for you fuckers. The masked man didn't like the way he was throwing RICO's name around. Shit was about to heat up. Bucko knew these guys were closer to RICO than what they said by the reactions. QUAN was on point. That didn't really matter because Bucko had his mindset. RICO brainwashed these goons. He offed them with quickness, knowing they wouldn't go for the offer. He'll rather take it. QUAN asked Bucko how they were going to get locked in if the Connect is dead. Bucko replied, saying the streets would know with RICO and his goons getting dropped back to back. It's some new shit going on. They'll have no other choice with us at the top of the food chain. Bucko then called the dealer from one of the dead guy's phone to set him up. Bucko was killing anybody that had ties with RICO. He was getting the score even once and for all. QUAN didn't like silencers, but Bucko gave QUAN his gun to get the job done. At this point, QUAN was laying belt on everything Bucko pointed at. The next day, Bucko had QUAN and Gordo pushing traps through the hood. They had heavy artillery due to the city being hot. They were strictly out seeing how the product would sell, but was for any bullshit that came their way. Gordo was locked in with the rolling 40s as well. He was just newer to the set. An hour went past before they got one customer. It was just some old meth head. The man got 3 grams before telling QUAN and Gordo they should relocate by the city hall. He also states that nobody has been dealing the good stuff anymore. QUAN thought about the money he could make if he trapped the city hall. Only problem he'll have is Hoover's, which is a rival gang that the 40's been beefing with for years now. QUAN damn sure wasn't satisfied with 1 customer per hour. Believe it or not, the meth head got QUAN to trap Hoover territory. Even Bucko wouldn't approve of this shit. QUAN told Gordo to keep everything tucked. Can't be looking suspicious broad day. Then stated if Gordo peeped anything wrong, he better speak up, can't afford no fuck-ups in enemy territory. Gordo replied saying, does Bucko know about this? Quan knew Bucko would trip if it was a problem, but if they handled their business the right way, Bucko wouldn't even care. They went by a corner store. Quan told Gordo to trap the corner and the crackheads will come in hot. Gordo said he felt naked without his K. Quan replied saying if anything it'll be a squabble, it's broad daylight, stop being pussy. After a good 30 minutes the crackheads were lining up. Exactly what they needed it as long as they don't encounter the wrong member, Quan thought. Quan told Gordo to not take his eyes off that car. The man in the car was shooting a text to somebody. Quan and Gordo didn't think too much of it. They just figured he was at a red light and not scoping out the block. If that was a Hoover, they got the drop on us, Quan said in a non-caring way. About 10 minutes later, turns out to be that guy actually was scoping out the block as he called some Hoover members to go check it out. This was not common in Hoover territory. The Hoovers already hate everyone, so they didn't really have to ask questions when it came to other fuckers on their block, non-affiliated or not. Yes, they were in Hoover territory, but wasn't aware that they were selling their product a block away from Hoover's. The Hoover members went to the next block to find Quan and Gordo, as the man in the black sedan dropped their low. Gordo was hard-headed and still had the K tucked, just never got to use it. Bucko was just having a chill day. He didn't want no bullshit coming his way. He was celebrating his accomplishments throughout the past 2 weeks until his phone started buzzing. As Bucko checked his phone, it set something off in him. It was Hoover's in his hood with Gordo's gun. His head was racing with frustration as he texted the members. It was about to be war in the city once again.